Welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us today. I've got Claire from Tradestaff here with me, and we're going to hear about the Tradestaff journey with digital signatures and the secured signing platform. Claire, to kick us off, do you mind just doing a brief introduction about yourself?
Sure, no problem. I'm Claire Duffield. I'm the Business Systems Manager here at Tradestaff. Been with the company 18, 19 years. I was a recruitment consultant back in the day when everything was on paper, and now look after the business systems, the main CRM ATS, and also look after our integrations with secured signing and payroll and other systems as well.
So Claire, tell us what life was like at Tradestaff before implementing digital signatures.
Well, there was a lot of paper. There was a lot of scanning and stapling and printing. It was quite hard to control sometimes what version of a document people were using, because they might save a shortcut to a particular version in the company drive that they liked, and then if we updated the document, you couldn't always guarantee they were not saving the document elsewhere and using an old one. So that was an issue. It wasn't a fantastic experience for our candidates, because they would, put their name on a form and their address, and then they'd put their name on a form and their address. So there's quite a lot of repetition for them. And there's a lot of work for our admin team that was very repetitive, just attaching documents. And of course, we were also, the candidate was writing on the paper, and then inevitably we had to key the information in. So duplication of work. And it's not a major issue, but it's certainly a consideration that you don't really want copies of people's driver's licenses and things floating around on desks. It's much, sort of eliminate the paper there. It's just it's a nicer working environment for one thing, and just eliminates any privacy worries. So that was us before. Yeah.
So what were some of the reasons for implementing digital signatures at Tradestaff? What were some of your key considerations?
Definitely key considerations were the candidate, client and consultant experience. We wanted to make everyone's lives cooler, easier, smoother, faster, and just more modern, and keep up with the times in terms of, more and more people use a mobile device to fill in information. So that was a key consideration, was the whole experience. When we looked at digital signatures and how they might work, it was clear that people could fill in some of the form if they wanted to at home, if they wanted to. So then their experience would be much faster and just nicer, because they can, relax and put their feet up. Privacy and security, certainly, it's all secure with a secure email link with the 4-digit code rather than paper. And reducing the amount of data duplication. So, that's and reducing the amount of repetitive manual tasks that have to be done by someone as well. Yeah.
What was your ideal solution when you went to market?
That's a really interesting question, because sometimes you don't know what you don't know. So it's often you don't know what your ideal solution is until you try something, and then you might think, oh, actually, this doesn't quite work for us. We'll try something else. But essentially, our key ideal solution had to be cost effective. It had to be scalable, because the cost per document has to be reasonable. So that's a key consideration, and it has to stack up against paper. Because it's always going to be more expensive than a paper system. But so the benefits have to outweigh the downside of the increased cost. We really were interested in flexibility and scalability, so a system that could cope with the ins and outs and intricacies of our business and how we use our main database. And key factor for us was the fact that it fully integrates with Bullhorn, because that saves us a huge amount of person hours, because it just means that everything happens automatically, and you're also eliminating quite a lot of risk in the fact that someone might forget to forward a document or forget to attach it or give it the wrong file type. All of that's done, and that was definitely something that was part of our ideal solution, was automating wherever possible, but still retaining the personal touch. And in that, you're still talking to a person. The only difference is you're filling a document out online rather than writing on a piece of paper.
Brilliant. And so once you've identified your ideal solution, what procurement process did you follow? Did you look at any competitor analysis?
Yeah, we did. We moved from paper to online signatures, and then probably went out to market and had a look at what else was out there, and then made another move to secured signing. I think once you actually use a product that gives you're much more informed then about what you do need it to do and how you need it to work. The procurement process, definitely we weigh up the pros and cons. We asked for references from other users, talk to our CRM and ATS provider about their recommendations as well. Just talk to people at conferences, get to know, go on, the main thing is going on demos, just trying to get as much information on a demo as possible. Ask for a trial run, see if you can set up a document, give it a go. Yeah, so that sort of thing. I think it's really good to get hands-on with that sort of thing.
What made you select secured signing?
What made us select secured signing overall was a very competitive price. It was fully integrated with Bullhorn, which really eliminated some of the trickier aspects of setting documents up with maybe it's not fully integrated. What really swung it as well was the workflow flexibility that you can have in secured signing, because you can have different workflows on different documents, and it's amazing what you can do with that once you get the hang of it. To be honest, a big feature was the openness to new ideas and looking at new features, and very much a feeling with secured signing that they were always open to improvements. And I just came across as a really great team of people. In New Zealand also helps. There is New Zealand support, and that they actually get the New Zealand market.
Brilliant, thank you. Claire, do you mind telling me about your experience during the implementation phase?
It's a steep learning curve. Often I'm emailing saying, it was not doing it, it's not working. And people would be like, could you just maybe try this one more time? Because I've got to grips with it now, and I know that there are certain things you do in a certain order at a certain pace. And once you've got the hang of that, it's easy. So the initial lumps and bumps smoothed out, great support, a lot of patience from the support team who are very, just let's start at the most obvious solution and work our way up. So once we, got our heads around everything, it's always tricky getting to grips with a new system. But once we'd figured out this does this and that does that, it's been really good. Yeah, really, really good.
Excellent, thank you. Can you tell me around the impact of implementing secured signing that you've seen to date?
I think we don't have any specific ROI, unfortunately, but I think one of the things to highlight was what our senior leadership team were actually most excited about was the sheer number of trees that we could say we were saving. And I didn't even have to do a hard sell on staples. We probably saved a ton of steel because we're using so much fewer staples. So, when we think about the sheer volume of paper that we used to print, simply to scan it and then put it in a secure destruction bin, it's, it doesn't bear thinking about really. So that is a huge benefit. Everyone's offices are lighter and brighter, not so much paper sitting around on desks and lots of filing cabinets full of paper. It's much, much nicer. A smoother, easier workflow. a much nicer experience for everyone at interview, because again, you're not left alone with a big pile of paper. You are introduced to Tradestaff, talked through the document, and you're filling it in. It's personal to you. It's got your details on it. You know, wherever you can put information on the document from your CRM ATS, it will be there on the document ready for them to review, which is a much nicer experience.
And what would you say has exceeded your expectations with working with secured signing?
I think what's exceeded our expectations is the continual commitment to improve the product, because everyone says that, but I've actually seen it happen. So the level of individual workflows that you can create for your documents, there's a lot of flexibility. There's some really cool functions that you can take advantage of. We have one workflow for one business unit and a whole different workflow for another business unit, all within the same CRM ATS. Works great. You can have fields update if a particular document has been signed, and the conditional logic that's come out has been really good. Again, just means that you can really make it work for your business. And I think what's been absolutely great from secured signing is they reach out to their customers regularly to find out what we would like them to look at and what direction we would like things to go in. And I know we've had a couple of chats about, you know, potentially how we share documents and things like that with multiple users. So
Yes.
It's really great to see a company that are like, oh yeah, that is a good idea. Yeah. And sometimes the speed of that happening has been like, oh, okay, you know, it's been really good.
Yeah, excellent. Well, we think that our customers who are using it have the best insights and therefore ideas around how we can improve it, which is why, we do take customer feedback very seriously. So we appreciate the ongoing feedback too. Now, final question to wrap this up. So what would you tell somebody else that was considering secured signing for their digital signature platform?
Do it. There's other products out there, and it's always worth doing a really good, research and procurement analysis, whatever you want to call it. Do it. But I think it's a product that you can start off really small and simple, and then as you get familiar with it, you can make it more and more tailored to your business. And not complicated is the wrong word, but you can make it much more tailored to what you need. So you don't have to go in and build this huge complicated setup initially before you know the product. You can start small and work your way up. There's a lot to be said for starting small. And I think from our experience, the support team and the senior leadership team are really great people to deal with. So I'd have no hesitation in recommending.
Awesome. Thank you. And that's brilliant.